Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. And I can't let me see, unmute your microphone because I can't hear you over there this morning. Can't hear you over there this morning.
Good
Now,
morning. How is everyone? Good
doing
morning.
good morning, good morning. Listen, we got a great broadcast lineup this morning, and Anna, I appreciate you.
Why you say that?
I appreciate it because I knew you wasn't feeling well, and you put them boots, them soldier boots on. You pulled them up and you laced them real tight, and you came to hang out with us. We definitely appreciate you.
And no, anything for my father's kingdom.
There you
It,
go.
it may be worth it. It may be helping somebody today. So anything for his kingdom.
There you go. There you go. We got a topic we're gonna talk about today. You ready for this topic?
Oh, I'm ready. I
All
had to
right.
read to make sure what it was about as I was getting dressed.
Okay.
I'm
Good.
ready.
Okay. Okay. And what we're talking about this morning, I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody up to speed as to what we're talking about this morning. I'm pulling it up here. I know what it is, but I like to read it exactly the way that I had it written, so people won't have no misinterpretation. And we had a good meeting last night, huh?
We did. We did. I'm gonna make a post very soon. So to our fellow followers, please be expecting it because we want as much of the community involved and as much as possible and in any way possible. So I'll be making a post maybe today or tomorrow.
Okay, good deal, good deal. And the topic we're going to talk about, the topic that we have today is backstabbers. Backstabbers. Who can you trust? Backstabbers. Who can you trust? Um, in this day and time, Anna, is it tough? Do you think that it's tough to be able to trust other people?
I don't trust many people anyway by nature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, okay. I'll give you some trust, and until you start showing me different, and then this some trust turns into negative trust.
Mm-hmm.
But I give everybody the chance, the opportunity. I'll say that. But today, and when you say that, you do you mean in general in society? Correct? Is that
Yeah.
what you're
Mm-hmm.
asking?
Absolutely.
No. People betray you all the time. You have, and I've spoken of this, people in the medical field who use the same items two to
Mm-hmm.
three times. You have, I'll say not everything, but certain items two to three times. They know what I'm talking about if they're in the medical field. You
Mm-hmm.
have so just different situations that politicians who you think are going to do something, the court system who sides with one and not the other. We can go on and on and on and on. Friends who there's an expression, and I hope I'm not saying more than I should on air. I'm going to translate it from Spanish to English. My mom always said, don't let your friend use your bra because that's the same one that will steal your man.
Mm.
So just something to think about. So it's things like that. I absolutely do not believe in trusting people. I believe in giving them a little bit because we should. Everybody deserves a chance, and you know how I am, my heart. But in the long run, they'll show their true colors.
Yeah. Yeah. And if a person, it really only takes a person one time, really. I think it only takes a person one time to get burned to the point where they're not going to trust anybody. They're not going to trust, they're not going to put their trust in anybody. And it could be a very good person. It could be a very good person that you run into, but because of the fact that you've gotten burned by one individual, it makes it real hard and real difficult for you to trust going forward. Now, if a person get burned one time and then somebody else come along, and let's talk about you. Somebody burn you, betray your trust. How hard is it going to be for you to trust the next person that come along, and maybe even there maybe just be a good person. They may be a good person, but is it
Why
hard
are
for you to
you gonna
trust?
think I'm weird? I
Mm-hmm.
still give them this much. I know, and I know I shouldn't do that, but I still give them at least this much trust to give them an opportunity to
To do
show
what?
their true colors. I know
Mm-hmm.
that that just sounds crazy, doesn't it? But I do it. I do it because I want to see the best in people. My heart wants to see that in people. And I know you guys are going to think she's crazy. Maybe people tramp her. Maybe that's why people have hurt me in the past, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
what I've learned with age is that you just don't let that wall go down so quick. You just give them a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and a little bit. And I'll tell you the worst at backstabbing you and betraying you is your family. They know your
Mm-hmm.
weaknesses. They're the worst. We all know
Mm-hmm.
that. I think we all know that.
Well, see, some people, I got some people in my family that I know that got my back, man. Got my back regardless. They got my back, and some of my cousins, I could go to any one of my cousins, and we all are very close. And I say, look, this is what I'm up. This is what I'm up against. Blah blah blah. I put the chips on the table, and they got me. They got me when and this is just a small. This is a small thing right here. When we was doing the family reunion last month, I think it was on the 11th of last month, whatever it was. I called. I know. I see. Look, I got to call this cuz, and this cuz, and they gonna they're gonna get the word out there. They're gonna get the word out there. They gonna let everybody know. They gonna let everybody know. I said, listen, I'm coming to you. I need you to help me. Blah blah blah. Let's organize this thing. Who you want me to call? I said, I want you to call everybody. I said, I want you to call everybody. And I said, I'm gonna be calling people. I said, this is who I already called, and I need you to call everybody else. Man, they called me back by the end of that day. Man, Blase gonna be there. Blase gonna be there. Blase gonna be there. Send them the link. Blah. And we actually gonna do another one this Sunday. So Monday, I hope to have a good report for you all Monday. But I know that these cousins got my back. Now I got some cousins on the other side. Boy, I can't trust them. I can't trust them no more than I can throw them. I can't trust them no further. And that's the reality. I can't trust them no further than I can throw them. We have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Raheem, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Doing fine, doing fine. Change of schedule.
There you go. Change the schedule.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. You want the link?
No, man, I'm just able to talk to you. I'm not in.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, good.
Screen or anything.
Gotcha. What we're talking about this morning, our topic today is backstabbers. Who can you trust? Backstabbers. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who can you trust? Leonard, who is there anybody that you could meet just off the cuff?
Did Leonard just start cracking up?
Yeah. Is there anybody that you can meet off the cuff, Leonard? Just off the cuff. You just met this person and you'll give them your trust? Or is that something that they have to earn?
No, it's not about that. I trust people to be people, man. People make mistakes or what have you. But, I think people should keep their word, you know? But as far as, trusting and things of that nature, I'm a little different about that. I take it for what it is. If I get a vibe that I don't want to deal with you because of something about your aura or whatever, I won't fool with you in the first place.
Exactly. I'm gonna tell you something, man. To me, I'm kind of like Anna. Hey, mute your phone for me, Leonard. I'm kind of like Anna when it comes to trusting a person. I trust them. I trust them and give them my trust. But I'm gonna tell you something. This is where I'm like Leonard. If I sit there and I look at you crooked eye one day, and I see something, hold on, it's not lining up. It don't line up. Now I gotta start reevaluating how trustworthy this person is. The phone lines are open 6-7. We got quite a few people coming in. The phone lines are open 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. Give us a call. We definitely love to hear from you. We're talking about backstabbers. Who can you, in this day and time, who can you trust? Anna, who can you trust? Man, is so much going on and so many people trying to take from each other, so many people trying to get ahead and want to be in that and Leonard gonna laugh when I say this, the role of leadership. Everybody want to be the head. All these doggone chiefs out here, and ain't nobody an Indian. So with knowing that, who can you trust, Anna?
Well, I certainly can't trust the police officers. At least the ones I've seen on TV. I did an interview yesterday and I shared it with a few people. It was with Tawanda Jones, the sister of Tyrone West. She made a statement that I said, wow, that makes sense. And I think you recall hearing this as producing the show, Raheem, that she said, you see all this police officers taking a knee, but it's like it's almost fake. You know, when you think about it and you're like, wait a minute, they've never taken a knee before. She's right. You know, they've never cared enough before. She's right. And I mean, I recommend for everybody to watch the interview, not because it was my show, but what was said, it was like, wow. So for me, not even, I don't trust, you know, like I said, I'll give you this much trust if you're a human being, but I don't even trust like getting pulled over. I'm afraid to get pulled over. I'm afraid that if my disabled child makes a movement, you know, there'll be a shooting in the car, and it's happened many a times in the disabled community, is what we call it, family. We're family. So it's happened so many times. It's stuff like that that I'm sorry, and God calls us, right? I would think, I may be wrong, to give some trust, but you just have to just watch it, because if somebody keeps doing the same thing, are you supposed to keep accepting it? You know, so I think if you just pull away from it, you don't have to, you know, and I'm the type of person, as you know, and I've spoken to you about this before, Raheem, I'm the type of person that I'll ask the person if they've done something, or I'll speak to you of what you've done. And you know, maybe you or Leonard just give somebody a crooked eye. I'll try to talk with you. If I get no response, that's a response. If that makes sense, that's a response. So we can do but so much. Good morning, Christy. Loving the mask.
Now, I actually got Green Bay and New Orleans, but go ahead. We'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
That's not Green Bay. That's Grambling State University. GSU.
Okay. Okay.
She told you.
Anna, go ahead, Anna.
Oh my gosh, I totally lost my train of thought. But with that being said, you know, you just have to find your way through. Oh, that's what I was going to say. When you give me something not to trust you about, and this is who I am as a human being, I'll ask you, is this true, or why did you do this to me, or you know what? And if that person does not give me a response, or does not, I don't know, the answer doesn't make sense, I move on. I move on, because whatever it is, it's not a good thing. Huh?
You cut them off?
Yeah. Why not? You know that.
Oh, she said like she cut me off. Oh my God.
No, not at all. Raheem is my brother in Christ, and we work great together. No, not at all. But he knows of situations where I have done.
I just had to clarify. I had to clarify for the listeners. But Christy, we're talking about today.
Yes.
We're talking about backstabbers. Who can you trust? Christy, in this day and time, who can you trust?
Them backstabbers.
Hey.
Okay.
I'm on mute button.
You can't. It's my turn to talk, so you can't put me on mute. You know what? Look, let's be honest. It's gonna be backstabbers no matter where you go. You know, it's just like even when Jesus talked about in Psalms 91, the darts that come after you, or the darts that are thrown at you. You know, you have to know that you're gonna come to some people that's gonna smile in your face, but honey, they're gonna try to slit your throat when you turn your back. That's just the cut world we live in today. And that's in jobs, that's in relationships. Sometimes you can't even trust your own family members, because they'll be the ones that backstab you the quickest. Who you can trust, you got to know who you find out who you can trust. I promise you, because the ones you can't trust, what my grandma used to always tell me, and I live by this to this day. She said, baby, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So in other words, if your friends, you keep your friends close, but you watch them, because your friends are the ones that can hurt you, because they know the most about you. That's who you trust. That's who you got your guard down. But if I don't like Raheem, and Raheem, I consider Raheem my enemy, I'm gonna look out for him for real. I'm gonna be looking at his every move, so they can't hurt us as quickly as people that's close to us. So the only person I say trust is Jesus Christ. He said, because if you trust in me, he'll never fail you. He's not a man that he has to fail you. He don't tell your secrets. He don't go out and talk about you. You tell him a situation, it's gonna get handled. So that's why I say trust. That's the person you truly can trust.
And I'm gonna tell you, and I want to say to you, you don't trust nobody. Oh, the one you trust. You trust the Lord. You trust the Lord. You trust the Lord. Don't trust Jimmy. Don't trust Paul. Don't trust Johnny. And don't trust them all. You trust the Lord. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I lost myself for a second. I'm back.
Yeah,
now he became the preacher. He became the preacher at that moment.
Yeah, I'm back. But listen, the phone lines are open 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Donald Tucson, good morning, sir.
Raheem.
Yes,
Raheem,
ma'am.
before you go on, I'm about to board the plane. I just want to chime in to tell you I love you guys, and I would definitely see y'all in the morning because I should be at my destination. Y'all have safe. I love y'all, and watch out for them backstabbers.
Hey, I try to help her so she sounds a little bit better while she's singing.
What's that thing they use in the singing in the studio when the people can't sing and they make Leonard, what's that thing they use in the studio when the people really can't sing and they tweak it and make
auto-tune?
Yeah, man. Where's the auto-tune? Where's the auto-tune? We gotta get it.
Mr. Leonard, don't help him talk about me.
Ain't number one truth. We practice telling it on this side of town. Ain't number one truth, sister. You're not a singer. That's not the gift. That's not your gifting. That is not your gifting. Everybody got a gift, and gift just wasn't you went in the wrong line this time. You said when they say to go and get a gift, you thought you go and get your gifting. You went and got a gift. But it wasn't singing. It wasn't it. Ain't no need us.
He thought I was worth saving. He thought I was worth saving.
I hope he lay his hand on your voice.
Oh my goodness,
I hope he lay.
Do it.
I hope he lay his hand on your voice. I pray he lay his hand on your voice because right now you ain't getting. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell
you. I never would have made it.
And if you got to count on your singing to eat, you ain't gonna make it. If you got to count on your singing to eat, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. I'm just saying.
I love you guys.
Hey, love you as well. So safe travels. We praying for you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Donald Toussaint.
Yes, sir. Y'all wide open today. Lord have mercy.
But Donald, we're talking about backstabbers. Who can you trust? Donald? Donald said,
Man, I don't trust nobody. I'm sorry, brother. I don't trust nobody. No.
Nobody.
No. Nobody. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I don't trust nobody. Man, for what? No. All you gotta do is get in trouble.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is have your life turned upside down.
Absolutely.
All you have to do is be without, or get into a situation, and you'll find out
real quickly.
Them bad people that you say you before you could bat an eye. I would suggest that you get you an enemy and pray for him. Get you one. Pick you one out. That's what Jesus did. You think you didn't know that Judas was a devil?
He knew.
He didn't foreknow that he was going to betray him. He knew it. He said, come on, here, follow me. Knew it. And he taught him like everybody else. And look, check this out now. I just saw this. He let him hold the money bag.
Yep.
Ain't it something? Let the one, the crook,
the one he knew was going to betray him.
Yeah. For money. He said, "Here, you be the treasurer." Sometimes you gotta let people set themselves up.
Do you think there was a message? Was he telling him? Was he giving him a message though? Because this is the very thing. This is the very reason why you're going to betray me. I'm gonna put you over the money, because this money is the one thing that you're going to use to betray me. Money. So I'm gonna put you over this money.
Yeah, you know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let you set yourself up. See what, you know, there are people, and I don't know if you do it, but I do it. I do it real good. I feed people information that they want, limited information that they're yearning for, especially when I'm in a situation that they want to find out what's going on. I give them bits and pieces with really no soundness. You can't do nothing with it, but there you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. You want to know something? There you go. So I can see what they're going to do with it. And when they wind up at the end point, because you're not going to sabotage me, because I'm not going to let you. But there you go. Here you go with that information. Go ahead and see what you, because Jesus, and I'm going to have to search this out, because he gave Judas a specific duty, because he had a specific task, but he let him set himself up. And that's exactly what I don't trust nobody. Trust for God. And we got a problem with that. We want to trust when we can trust.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. But you know, I have a certain dependent or friendship with people, and that's exactly. And I don't trust. I know I'm talking a lot, but just like you, I don't know you from Adam's cat. But I trust you more than I trust people that I walk around every day.
Praise God.
Cause I'm telling you, man, because I'd rather trust somebody from a distance than trust people that I, you know, hold hands with sometimes.
Gets good.
Because they're crooked.
See, and see, I thought you were saying you trust me because I was a good guy. You talking about you trust me because I'm a long ways away. Lord, my Jesus.
At least you can't stab me in the back from over there.
Yeah. You're right. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. There's a lot going on, man, and it's real hard, man.
I like what you said. You know, like I told you before, man. I trust God. I'm different about trust. You know, once I've gotten older, so you know, I know the difference. You know, of who to really put your trust in. You know, you grow up, you be putting, I trust my friend, and then before you know it, your friend's somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you know, I learned to trust God a long time ago, because people disappoint you all the time. And you won't be so upset and offended about everything if you just don't trust them in the first place. Normal stuff, yeah, I trust you to go and do what I ask you to do. And this, that, and the other. But what I do know, just like Tucson said about you, you're a human being. Yeah. And you got nasty little ways that lead to other things. And before you know it, you'll hang yourself. So it's not about, you know, people should. I had a friend, we ain't spoken over 20 years. Because I asked him a question that offended him.
Good Lord.
Okay. So my thing is, you never answered the question, but you got offended. Get away from me immediately.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Go ahead, Annie.
Who, me? No,
Yeah.
I was just agreeing with him that that's exactly what I'm talking about. Why get so offended, or why disregard the question if you're being truthful? If you're being you're being real. Okay, let's just say it like this. You're being real to whatever it is that you're doing. I don't care if it's employment. I don't care if it's friendship. I don't care if it's whatever it is. If you're being real to what you're doing, why get offended? Why get upset? Why disregard the question? Why? Because you're lying. Because your thought was to go a whole different way. And that was Leonard that said that, right? Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, Leonard, and I'm 200% with you. However, the difference between you guys and me.
Hold on. Let me say this for a second. What if there's a misunderstanding, and you, the individual, see something that it really isn't the way that it is, and you make an error in judgment. You make an error in judgment, and you find out that 6 months ago, I thought it was this, and I haven't talked to you in 6 months. How do you go back and make amends for that?
Me?
Yes.
Well, I would apologize. That's what a real human being does. That's what you're supposed to do. I would apologize and say, look, this is, I'm sorry, keep getting messages. This is what I was thinking. But most people would talk about it. If you guys are friends, if you guys are kinfolk, if you guys are even co-workers, you're supposed to talk things out. I'm one to believe that's what friendship is about. You don't just turn around and just, oh, I didn't talk to you because I thought this. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to ask. But let's say, okay, you didn't. And then all of a sudden you realize, okay, I made a mistake. Okay, so you made a mistake. So then I'm going to still explain to you why I'm coming back to you and saying it. Now, that's your decision if you feel that the friendship or whatever type of friendship or relationship we have is worth saving or not.
Donald, how would you deal with that? Somebody come to you and after 6 months, they say, well, look here, I made a mistake. I made an error in judgment, man. I called you wrong. And I want to apologize to you. I hadn't talked to you. And the reason why I have not talked to you in 6 months was because my interpretation of what it was different than what it is. You're a good person, man. And I apologize. Donald, how do you deal with that?
Funny, you would ask, but I don't give a person but one chance. I'm sorry. I'm in good Christian thing. That's not a good Christian thing. I know they're supposed to forgive your brother
70 times
7.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. But I'm gonna watch you from that point on because you should have knew me better.
So would that put a wedge in the friendship?
It would. Yeah, I would forgive, but that sure would. Because from the first point, you should know that I don't trust nobody in the first place. So you done that. So we a little bit further apart. That's just the way it is.
So
and it's not a game. That's just the way I am.
It doesn't mean anything that this person thought enough of you and your friendship to come and apologize to you.
Right. Well, that's good. Yeah. But in the friendship, you know me, man. You should know better than that. You know I don't dig ditches for nobody.
Okay.
But you done waited 6 months. Now we friends now. But I just got to treat it a little bit different.
Yeah, I got you. We have
that's the way I am.
Okay. That's fair. I love the honesty, man. I definitely love the honesty. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Frank. I'm calling from Detroit, Michigan.
Hey, Frank, what's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
I forgive you, Raheem. I just want you to know, okay? I know.
Man, I didn't mean it, man. I didn't mean it, man.
I forgive you, man.
I didn't mean it, man.
I didn't mean it. We good.
Man, listen, man. Listen, man. I didn't mean it. Lord knows, I didn't mean it. Lord knows I didn't. Lord knows he knows. Man, you know, I ain't got no sense, brother. But listen, we're talking about backstabbers. Frank, who can you trust? Who can you trust?
Wow.
Who can you trust?
Yes.
I mean, you know the crazy thing about it, Raheem, and I want to touch on the question that you just asked Donald, but I'm going to ask the question that you just asked me. Who can you trust? The challenge is really not who can you trust. The challenge is your expectation. You know, and the crazy thing about it,
hold on. Caller that just called in. Mute your line for me. Mute your line. We got an echo coming back from your line. Mute your line for me. All right, go ahead.
Okay. It's really your expectation. You know, remember we're dealing with people that are human, and people are going to make mistakes. You're going to come into contact with people at different stages of their life, you know, so their maturity level is going to be totally different. You know, there's some things that people did when they were 17 and 18 that, you know, they have developed since then. And it's some people at 50 and 60 are still struggling with some things. But I want to touch on this real quick about forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
If a person comes to you and they say to you, you know, I truly apologize for what we've been through and what we just went through. If you don't forgive them at that point,
Right.
they've done what they're supposed to do. It's going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to suffer behind it. They're not going to have ill will. It's going to kill you. You're literally going to be killing yourself with unforgiveness, you know, holding on to that bitterness. And that person probably won't even be thinking about after that, after they've done that, they probably won't even be thinking about, you know, what happened between you and them because they've come clean.
Mm-hmm.
They've humbled themselves. They've apologized. Now they're sleeping good at night. And you're still walking around bitter and angry. And they have done what is expected of them. So forgiveness is more beneficial to the person that forgives than the person that actually offers the apology.
Now, I can agree with what you're saying. I can agree with what you're saying 100%. But I would not dare at this moment go to Leonard for his response to what you just said. I would not dare. I would not dare. Go.
Wise man.
No, I would not dare. As a matter of fact, we got no, sir. We got a call.
Go to Leonard.
No, sir. See how Anna laughing over there? Anna was exactly what I'm talking about. We understand what Leonard is. No, we got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Unmute your phone, caller.
Hello, how are you? I'm Sherry. I'm sitting here laughing at you all. Today, this is a good topic because I have serious trust issues. Serious trust issues because I'm that one that forgive over and over and over and over and over again. And yet and still, I know you don't supposed to trust anybody, but I always let them show themselves to me first. And I've noticed that when he was saying that the person suffers that's holding the grudge. Well, I'm the opposite person. I'm the one they always come back to after they done me wrong. So my question for you all today is how long do you let that person suffer for that? Because sometimes I will not talk to them. I will cut them off. I have cut 25 years relationships off. I have trusted leaders and I watch them. You know, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I just trust in the beginning because I know there are good people in this world and I don't want to discredit them if they're trustworthy because the Bible says, you know, the tree by the fruit is bare. If it's bearing forth good fruit, then you continue to love on that person because sometimes people make mistakes. And so I'll forgive them for that. But in the same token, if they keep doing the wrong thing over and over again, and I'm bringing it to their attention and they do not apologize. Now, we are adults here. We're supposed to go to him and him alone when you have a problem, right? So what do you do when that person, you done went to them and went to them and went to them, and they so big, high and mighty leaders. And I've done it in many groups. I've watched many groups, many leaders. I watch you all and I love you all so dearly. Y'all have gotten to my spirit. Raheem, Anna, Leonard, Christy. You know, I'm new to New Order. But when you get to organizations, I watch my leaders closely because I need to be able to be lined up with your vision. So if I don't see the right thing, that makes me back up. So what do you do when you tell the person they don't listen and they're so high and mighty? I got PhDs, I got this, I got that. That's where my trust issue really comes into play because I believe in Anna. I believe in Raheem. I believe in Leonard. I believe in my purpose as an evangelist, but I cannot follow when I see the tree is starting to die out. Something is killing it.
Exactly.
Now,
sister. Now, Sherry, and I'm glad you called in this morning. I definitely appreciate you, sister. But let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. And if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. You certainly don't have to. We're not here to put you on the spot. But why is it that you feel you have real trust issues? Something had to happen for you to get to that place where you have the real trust issues? Is that something that you could talk about?
Yes, because I'm a lover. I'm a lover to your soul. I believe in your heart and not your outward appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And when my spirit discerns you are a good person, then I see. But I notice sometimes people stumble because we are human. And I have been hurt to the core by every level. I can't even tell you which one, but I do believe in forgiveness. And then once they see, sometimes it recovers them, recover them in a fault. Help the brother, pick them up. Sometimes you can help that person grow by the mistakes that they made. So my heart is real tender, you all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I have been betrayed so much. So I've learned through the betrayal to love anyway. Because God, when he died on the cross, he died for everybody, not just for me. So I have to continue to love in order to mend the hurt that others feel. So I'm able to minister because I've been hurt in every way a Black woman could be hurt. So now I pray and keep myself consecrated. I am a widow, and I try to give people the benefit of the doubt because they're human. We're all human.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Now, healing. Have you got to a place where you feel as though you're healing or you're healed? Have you gotten there yet?
The healing process is the love, because love conquers all. I continue to love the Lord and ask him for his guidance and direction to help me get past it. And each time he does deliver.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Anna, what's on your heart right now? Anna, you got two screens going on.
Yeah, because I wanted you to be able to not hear the typing. I don't know what's going on with my phone. I guess you guys can hear the typing. This is something, and Sherry, thank you so much for always commenting on my watch parties. I appreciate that very much. And I can answer that as best as I can as a woman who's forgiven so many people who have done me wrong in the past. God doesn't give everybody a soul and a heart of meekness and gold. Not everyone has your heart. And with that being said, not everyone can see what you see, the goodness in people. I will start there. However, God also tells us that when something isn't for us, when something has damaged us, we also have to protect ourselves and walk away from that has caused us pain. You can love from a distance is what I'm saying. You can protect your heart. Now, you can always forgive and bring them back in your world slowly but surely. If you decide that. I have gotten to the point where I've read scripture so much that I'm to the point where no, I just move on, because you go through seasons with different people and they're not meant to be in, in the rest of my season. Learn to move on. You don't, maybe they might be a good person, but they weren't a good person to you or for you. So you've got to learn to just move on. Just say, you know what? You were good to me, or maybe you were good, but you're not what is meant to be in my future. You're not who God wants to be in the rest of my life. And learn to forgive yourself. Ask, or, not forgive yourself, to tell yourself life moves on. And with that being said, don't ever feel that you can't ask a person, because you have a good heart, why did you do this? What was your reasoning? Because I guarantee you that maybe 98% of those people won't even have an answer, because it was more than likely the enemy attacking you. And don't forget that, because you just, I see it every day when you comment on it. You just have a beautiful spirit. And don't let people do that to you. Even at, just continue praying And I'm going to tell you this. If you do decide to forgive somebody, pray about it first. Go into fasting first, and God will let you know. And I'm glad I could say this because it's a Christian station. God will let you know if that person's supposed to be around you. That way, the enemy cannot fool you. Period.
Exactly.
Remember that.
Lord.
Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I like what Anna said about it. And one, I think it's a huge issue, especially with women. Women can be very trusting. And man, it's great to meet someone who's a truly good person. And even to know that someone would misuse a person like that is irritating. And so that's why I always try to tell people to be respectful of one another. And think about it. You get to a point where you will withdraw. Some people have many issues. I know a lot of people with a lot of drama in their life, right? I used to. I'm like, so why don't you just walk away from all that drama?
Yeah.
If you don't want it. I'm the type of person is if I don't feel good when you around, I stop being around you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
There you go. That's good. That's good. Go ahead, Leonard. You own something. Go ahead.
And so we have to understand that it's not for you, first of all, to trust everybody. That's one thing.
Okay.
You cannot trust everybody. Rule number one, you cannot trust I don't care how good it looks. I don't care how sweet the words may be. Yes, if it's a great message, guess what? Leave it at that. It's a great message. You know, I kind of leave it at that. I'm a lot like, that's why I love the stuff that Tucson says, right? Because I'm a lot like Tucson when it comes to a lot of things. Man, I don't need no problem.
Yeah.
I really, not one day do I want to be unhappy. Now, I'm sure those days are going to come, but I'm sure not going to bring it into my life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to allow people to keep dumping on me. You know, stop letting people dump on you. You know, even when somebody comes and gives me some news like, man, I'm getting a divorce. Are we laughing or are we crying? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, I take it for what it is because we are just human beings. We're bound to make, I forgive all mistakes that people have made. But what I will not deal with is someone constantly abusing a relationship.
Exactly.
That is not cool, and you do not get that opportunity with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got another caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is Cassandra.
Good morning, Cassandra. How you doing?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're asking a question this morning. We're talking about backstabbers. Who can you trust? Cassandra, who can you trust in this day and time? Who can you really trust?
Well, I'm that optimist. So there are a lot of people that you can trust, but there are a lot of people that you have to handle with a long-handled spoon. I've had people to backstab me, and it is one of the most painful, especially church folk. It is one of the most painful things that you can ever go through. And people do it a lot for a lot of different reasons. Mine seems to always be jealousy. The people it used to boggle my mind because I'm like, God, these people have so much more than I have. Why are they so jealous? And he was like, they're jealous of your spirit.
That's what I was about to say. Let me say this. People can have a lot of material things, but at the end of the day, like Lionel say, material things, they have no value.
But it is your spirit. And that's what God had to finally reveal to me. He said, it's not you, and they love you, but it's just that ugly green-eyed monster that they see where you are as far as how you operate, how people are drawn to you. Because I don't care where I go, I don't care what church I've ever worked with, people were drawn to me, and I mean they wanted to hear me, and I would be teaching, and I mean, you know, it's just who you are sometimes that make people jealous. So what I had to learn to do, and God spoke this to me, he said, guard your heart. He said, you're very tender when it comes to people. I'll give people my last. And I've done it. But he said, guard your heart. Always guard your heart. And because I had my heart hanging on the willow tree, just, blowing all in the wind and just going, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can love people sometimes, but sometimes you have to love people at a distance. And it's family members that I've had to learn to love at a distance, because if you disrupt my life and my joy, then I need to distance you. And it's not easy to do sometimes.
And I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of times, and people don't realize this, but it happens often. The godly spirit in you could irritate the demons in somebody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It could irritate them. It could irritate them. And so, the godly spirit in you could irritate the demons in them, and they don't know why they don't like you. It's just that the godliness in you. Yeah, it's just the godly spirit that's in you. It's just irritating those demons, and they're not at rest. They can't rest because you're around, and what God has placed in you is around, and it shakes them up. Frank, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, I'm so glad you came to me, because I want to say this. Let's not confuse forgiveness with how you interact with somebody. I remember my sister, when she was struggling with heroin, stole my mother's medication up until the day my mother passed. And that was a hurtful thing. It was medicine that my mom needed to survive. And once my mom was gone, I forgave my sister. But the way I interacted with my sister was different. I could not ignore the fact that she had a problem. And when you see someone has a problem, you may forgive them. But okay, my sister's struggling with heroin. That don't mean that she can come over to my house and I can just say, hey, I'm gonna go to work now. I'm gonna leave you here by yourself. I can't do that. She wants to babysit my kids, and she's not responsible for herself. I love you, but I can't do that. So you have to understand, even if you forgive a person, even if you love a person, when people show you certain things, there's just certain things you cannot do. And that's just like a lot of people on this panel have been saying, that don't get caught up in how you feel about a person as far as what you trust them with. Sometimes you have to, you don't have to condemn a person to being a certain way for the rest of their life, but you have to acknowledge this is where they are now. And because of where you are now, I have to handle you a certain way, especially women. If a man is constantly lying to you, constantly mistreating you, constantly, cheating on you, you can forgive, but then you gotta leave that joke alone. You don't continue to say, well, I'm gonna forgive you because that's what I'm supposed to do as a Christian. Okay, the word tells us to, in all you're getting, get understanding, get wisdom. The word also talks about not casting your pearls onto swine. Because the only thing pigs know to do with pearls is to defecate on it and to put it in the mud. So you have to be wise in what you do. Forgiveness is a heart issue. It's not how you deal with people issue.
It's good. That's good. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Morning Go family? How y'all doing? It's Kurt, Baltimore City.
What's up, Kurt? How you doing, man?
I'm in there, get ready to go in the office.
There you go.
What's up?
We're talking today about backstabbers, and who can you trust? Who can you trust, Kurt?
God. For real. You can't push. Man. I done done it several times. One thing I done learned is, I think sometimes human beings, we tend to trust people for who we want them to be, or who we see that they can be, instead of trusting people for who they are. And when we do that, we set ourselves up for failure. So when a disappointment comes, or whatever, when the disappointment comes, then we blame those people. Knowing that, not knowing that, you put the wrong trust in the wrong person. You trusted this person to be something above being human. You know, or sometimes, you know, for real, sometimes we got to look at ourselves. You know, was we even trusting in the right thing? Was our heart in the right place when we bestowed this trust? Was our trust placed there because of, or was our trust placed there in spite of? Because if it was placed there if it was placed there because of, you're already out of pocket, because you're placed in a trust with the thoughts of getting something in return. You understand? But if you place it there in spite of, you're placing your trust there out of genuine love. Like, it's my belief that God places a certain level of trust in man to believe in him, to learn his ways. Okay, but I don't believe that God places trust in man to do those things because he wants man to worship or love him. I think he genuinely places his trust in man because he believes that man will genuinely be inherently good and do what is right and pray and give praise to him in the midst of doing what's right.
That's good.
You know, trust is it's not just a one-sided thing, and the lack thereof is just not a one-sided thing.
I'm gonna go to Donald, and I'm gonna ask Donald this question, and then I'm gonna piggyback the same question to Cassandra, and anybody else that want to answer the question. But God created man he said, in his image and in his likeness I will create man. Man, together we will create thee. Do you think, Donald, God knew what man was going to do and the heart that man was going to turn into, or whatever? Do you think that God trusts man or trusted man?
There was a lamb slain before the foundation of the world. So how do you answer that? Check it out. His foreknowledge, knowing, you know, I would say he knew we wouldn't do right. So Christ didn't come 2,000 years ago. In the beginning, God. And so before he said, "Let there be," the lamb was already slain. So to go back to the same thing, I mean, you know, you can put your confidence in man if you want to. I don't think he did.
Wow.
Because he gave us a ransom for us before we got here. One thing about salvation, you can't mess it up because you had nothing to do with it. It's not about us. It's about his unfailing love for us.
Come on.
Check out what he does with the prophet. He says to show him how he felt about the people that he really loved, the chosen one. He said, "Go marry you." Or, Cassandra, you need to be the one to step in for this one. But he says, "Go marry you a whore. Whoredom. Go get you Gomer. She ain't gonna do right, but you love her. And when she betray you, you love her. When you catch her in wrong, you love her." Now, what that had to do with Gomer? That's the type of love he has. So did he trust us to do right? And I know some people have their wings on their shoulder because it makes them about them. But fly, jump off the mountain and fly if you got wings. See if you don't bust your head. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Cassandra, what do you say to that? Did God?
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, he knew. Yeah, he knew it all from the very beginning, because he knew the end at the beginning. So, but I'm just, Donald, don't be playing. It's too early in the morning. I was about to cry because you called my name, and the example you gave is crazy, because my husband, before he died, he got into drugs. He was cheating, and God kept telling me. He said, "Go get him." And that's the scripture where what God told the prophet. He said, "Go." He said, "I don't care." He was like, "But God, man, everybody knows she's sleeping around with everybody." He said, "Go get her, and you bring her back, and you tell her not to do it anymore." And so I was like, "But this is a man. He's gonna do what he want to do." Blah 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 blah. But I went and I was obedient, and I kept being obedient to God until finally He said, "That's it. Because he has rejected you, I have rejected him." And God didn't tell me anymore to go get him. So even because He knows the end from the beginning, it was for me to love him through as much as I could to try to help him, because my ex-husband had an anointing on him. He had a prophetic ministry. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to be willing. God really wanted him to get it together. He was not willing to totally surrender, be delivered, and get on track. And, but I did my part.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can only do your part as long as God allows you to do your part. Why is it that some people stay in relationships for years? And it's not out of stupidity. I used to think, I was like, she's just crazy. Why would she do that? It's sometimes God has put a mandate on you to stay there until He does whatever He's doing. And I know a lot of people that had horrible relationships, and God turned it around. And now those men are some of the best men that you'd ever want to see. So I stopped trying to figure out what God would tell a person, because what God tells you to do in a situation may not be what He tells another person to do in the same situation.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell y'all something, man. I sit here and I listen. A lot of times I listen to what y'all saying, man, and I just reflect, man. God is absolutely amazing, man. God is just absolutely amazing in how He do things, and we don't all do. We understand? No, most of the time we don't understand. We don't understand.
Sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not.
I'm trying to call Sherry. I was trying to call Sherry back. Went to a voicemail, but yeah, man, he's absolutely amazing. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, everybody. This is Andrea. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Andrea. How you doing?
Good morning, Andrea. How you doing?
Good morning,
I'm doing. How y'all doing?
Andrea, do you have us on speaker?
You know, I got you on speaker. My bad.
Okay, Andrea, what we're talking about today, we're talking about backstabbers and who can you trust? Who can you trust?
Nobody.
Mm.
Put trust in no man. We can love them, but you can't trust them. You can only love them. That's it.
But how you say you can love them, but you can't trust them, and some people will have a little issue with that. And I understand what you mean, but I want you to explain to the babes in Christ, how can you love them and not trust them, or vice versa, trust them and not love them?
I can't love you enough to be there for you. I can love you enough to share a little with you, but I can't go all in with you. And then in case you retract on something or break a promise to me, see, if I really trusted you and knew that you didn't have way to error, I would be upset. I would be mad. I might even retaliate. But since I know that you are a man and that I can't really trust you anyway, then I don't worry about it. I mean, you just have to know how far to go. Those real intimate things that you might not want to get out, well, you might not need to tell a man. That's something you better tell Jesus. It'll never get out.
Mm-hmm.
And if it do get out, it's because it's coming across somebody giving you some words of encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like you just can't trust people and put your trust in people because people will let you down. And it's not always because they try to. It's just because we're human.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Leonard, let me, and that's good. That's good. Leonard, let me ask you this question real quick. Everybody mute your phone. We got some background noise coming from somebody's line. Everybody mute your line for me. But Leonard, let me ask you, do we love and trust a person all the way up until the time they don't do what we want them to do? And once they stop doing what we want them to do, does the trust and the love leave at that point?
See, that sounds like people you can't trust.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Come on. Come on.
Because those are what those people do to you.
Yeah.
They gain your trust
just
for their own purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love what Andrea was. I like the way she said that.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Like I got family members that, man, let me tell you, not that we have odds with one another. It's just that the way they choose to live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I had an uncle, God rest his soul. Man, he was just a street guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He did drugs. He'd take stuff from you, but I still loved him.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew what not to trust him with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be wise in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
The Dalai Lama says, faith is great, but blind faith is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
That everyone must, you got to look at the stuff that you can see. Don't pretend not to see it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tell people you had to, people don't go crazy overnight.
Mm-hmm. Come on. They don't wake up one day.
You know
crazy.
what some people they do little things, little bits, and then I had somebody there. Well, you know how I am. Yep, and that's just why I'm gonna leave you alone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just why I'm gonna leave you alone, because I know how you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why you don't do this? Why you don't call me? Because I don't care for your conversation.
Mm-hmm. You ain't talking about nothing.
I tell you flat out. Bro. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you and play the guy. Like when you're talking to a man who usually plays with women, he has a certain kind of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not used to talking to real men, you'll know it.
Yeah.
Because the same little way he talked to these women to gain their trust and to misuse them, that's what you feel about his conversation. It's very frivolous.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you can count and depend. Yeah, I might go work with you. We might go to work together or whatever. But when it comes down to trust, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the very simple fact, I know how you are. I used to tell people, the way I want to find out if I can trust you or not.
Mm-hmm.
I may tell you something. I may tell just you something.
Yep.
And if it get back to me, I know you can't keep a secret.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that's true. That's true. Anna, I think you have someone very special you want to say something to this morning, Anna. What's going on?
So it's the first time she has logged in. Mommy, I love you, bendición. I am so happy she logged in. Yes. She normally doesn't do that. It's just that we're dealing with so much as a family. Te amo, and I love you very much. My mother's on listening to the show, so I'm very excited about that. I'm almost in tears of joy. I love her very much, and I'm glad she's on. So that's all I wanted to say about her. Do you have a question for me? Leonard said it best, man. I've done that. I've just said something to somebody just to see, and maybe that's called lying or manipulating. I don't know, but I've done it myself because I just want to see if I could trust you.
Exactly. Now, Frank, is that called lying or manipulating, or is that just testing the water?
Well, no, I think that all you did was give them information. I mean, you gave them information. If I tell you, something, and I just gave you information and told you to keep it between us, I didn't lie to you. I asked you to keep it between us. Now, if I want to see, I think that's something that we don't do enough when we enter into a relationship. That's evaluated. Sometimes we go into relationships and we go head first, and we man, I hate to keep going here, but I got to. That's one practice that women really, really need to embrace.
Frank, let me go ahead and ask you this question. Let me go ahead and ask you this question, brother. Do you think sometimes women are just too trusting and we're men, so we're talking about ourselves here, but do you think sometimes women are just too trusting when it comes to us? We come and we paint this picture and they buy what we're selling.
I don't think that they're too trusting, Raheem. I think that they don't realize how awesome they are. I don't think that they put enough value in, you know, how powerful they are and how they really need to deal with that thing called anxiety. Because, you know, the one thing about women is that women, they make plans. You know, from the time they can really begin to consider things a certain way, they begin to plan their marriage, a family, where they're going to live. Where we're a little more shallow. We don't think that deep, especially at an early age. So when all women are doing is they're trying to see that plan through. But if they would just trust that, just be patient. Just be patient and stand back and watch and do a whole lot more evaluating and keep things that are precious to you. Then you'll have to go through a lot of heartache.
Do you remember? And I'm making funny here, but do you remember?
Be careful. You know, we have grown folks on the line. All right, you be at your best behavior now. You watch it.
Yes, sir. Do you remember? Do you remember Minister Ray Parker Jr.? He said he had a song that he used to sing all the time. Say, when a woman gets in her 30s, she starts to feel like she's running out of time. Do you think that has something to do with it? When a woman gets in her 30s, she starts to feel like she's running out of time.
Here we go.
9 times out of 10, she's correct if she assumes that marriage is the last thing on a man's mind. Okay, y'all. And Andrew, what do you say to that? Do you think it's because when a woman gets in her 30s, when a woman reaches a certain age, she started putting up with a little more because she feels as though she's running out of time?
No, because I've been grown since I was 15. I was married to my first husband because I got pregnant when I was 15. So no, I don't. I just think that depends on the woman. A lot of women are insecure, and our insecurity, we let it or allow it to control us. Our need to feel like somebody has to be with us or we have to be touched a certain way. We don't trust ourselves enough. We don't love ourselves enough to say, hey, this ain't right. This ain't right. Why am I having to do all this? I'm not getting this in return. We're just insecure. And I think that this comes with not wanting to be alone, but don't realize sometimes it's better to be alone because you have peace.
I can do bad by myself. I'm going to talk to the ladies, gentlemen. Y'all hold fast for 1 second. We're going to talk to the ladies. I'm going to go to Anna. Anna, what do you say to that? Be careful. Mommy listening. Mommy listening.
No. I'm very transparent, even with my parents. I do believe that a lot of women are like that. However, I will say this new generation, I think the way that we're raising our daughters is be independent. And be independent for the reasons that a lot of these men will leave you. A lot of these men will make a child and leave you with all this burden. I know I have taught mine and it's not to count on that man. Don't mistake, what I'm saying. It's still follow the Bible. However, have your studies ready. If that man walks out the door, guess what? You have your studies to lean back on. And I have beautiful, 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 you know, I don't like going, you know, and talking about, but, you know, and I have made sure that they have learned this at a very young age. They're not the type to just go out and look for a boyfriend. They're not the type to do certain things, because I've implemented it on them at a very young age. Look, this is what a guy will do, straight up. This is what a guy will do. You can either go on this side or you can go on this side. That's totally up to you. I'm still going to love you either way that you do it. But remember that this child that comes along the way, 90% of the time, unless he was raised right, you're responsible for that responsibility of that child. Remember that. Remember the things your mother has gone through and keep that in mind, which I thank God, because I think it has made them be different than I was at that sense. Now, I did have my first child at 21 years old. I wasn't very young. I was already an adult. However, I was still, I think, not mature enough to have a child at that age. I should have gone and finished my school. I think 25 is a good age. That's just my opinion. You know. So.
Okay, and that's independent. It's your independent choice on that. You know, everybody feels a little different. Some people say 21, some people say 25, some people say 30. But let's keep this thing going. I want to go to Sherry. Sherry, what's on your heart? What do you say to that? Women and maybe their insecurities or whatever it is, are they running out of time when they get to be 30? What happens in that whole scenario, Sherry?
Yes, I agree. I'm 52 and I don't have no time to lose and no time to waste. And like I'm saying, yes, we as women, we have our things planned out. We know what we want. We know just about, you know, how we want things to play out, especially the type of guy that I would like in my life as a widow. You know, I've been a widow for 3 years. I am the marrying type. I've been married 28 years of my life. So I know what it's like to be a wife. I know what it's like to be in solitude as far as abstinence, you know, being celibate because of the ministry. I'm an evangelist. So yes, my peace of mind is sacred, but I am a woman and I am human too. So if a guy does come along that approaches me, I do want to be where I'm not going to be so timid and messed up from being jacked up from all the other relationships. I try to at least give the man the benefit of the doubt until he shows me different, you know, because you never know. You never know with no one. So I know the Bible says don't trust no man, but in the same token, you don't want to be so timid that you can't be able to relax and be yourself. I've listened to a lot of stuff and I've taken it all in because I do have a sensitive heart and that's the way God made it. And I'm glad it's that way because I'm able to understand and I'm able to grow from every mistake that I make. I'm not perfect, but yet and still I'm growing to be perfect as God said in his word. So thank you all for your help. Yes, I am older and yes, I'm not the one to play with. I'm already established. I'm polished. I'm not the fixer-upper type. My needs are met already. I'm retired. So yes, at times when you see somebody you want to be with or they happen to interact with you and you feel after 50, a man should have his things together. But I've learned that
not all.
After 50,
not all.
I've been getting my face smacked. Trust me, face smacked because I'm like, okay, you know, we should know better by now. So yes, I have it all planned out because I'm coming with something to the table. Not, hey, you got to put all the food on the table. No, when a man comes to me, I'm polished already. I've everything established. I don't need nothing from you but love and respect and love God.
See, we're gonna mess around and put a petition out there to find you a husband, girl.
See, I'm already.
We are heard nationwide and worldwide. Sherry is single and looking for a good man, a good Christian man. So if you're single and available, please contact us at www.dkmradio.com.
Man,
Y'all so wrong for that. See, I'm not needy. I'm sorry, and I can cook too.
And she could cook. Look, I'm not needy, but let me throw this in. I could cook too now. I could cook. Where'd that come from? Okay. Let me do this right here. I want to do this right here. Let me play this real quick. Let me call. We're ready to go to the thug, Pastor. We need a.
You so silly. You so silly.
Look here. What you say to that thug pastor? We want to talk to a thug pastor.
Woman of God. I'm total in total agreement with you. I actually put up a post recently, and I said, if you have a uncle, brother, cousin, somebody else, over friend over 60, and that know how to treat a woman, please, you can forward my information. So I'm not. Listen, I cannot say a thing, but I thank you for that, and it is about trust. And as we get older, I don't do ropey dope. I don't do booty calls. None of that. I'm too old for that. So when they come, they have to come correct. And a part of that is being truthful. I have a problem with people lying to me. When you meet somebody, and if you just give me a couple of minutes, Raheem, when you meet someone, I am not ignorant that you were just sitting at home waiting for me to walk across your path. That would be stupid for me to think that, right?
Yes.
Because most people are living their life. So they may have a girlfriend or whatever. If there is something there that we feel like, oh, hey, I'm feeling something here in my spirit about you. And
it was gas.
Like,
it was gas.
I'm feeling
it was
something.
Gas.
Yeah,
it was just gas. It was gas.
Whatever. So, but if we feel something, you're not married. I'm not married. We may be dating other people. But if you feel like in your spirit that there is something there, then you need to be honest with me and say, hey, I've been in a relationship with this person, but I'm feeling like I'm drawn to you. There's something happening here. I'm being honest with you. I would like to see where this may take us. Then we can hold a conversation as long as you are not married.
Yeah.
If you married, there is no conversation about anything because we have nothing to discuss.
Yeah.
But there are times we got to be sensible. There are times that you may meet somebody that he wasn't sitting on the bench waiting for you. You weren't sitting on the bench waiting for him. But it's that person. You believe it's that person. Then you could try to build something from there. But if you come out lying, talking about, oh no, I'm single, I'm free, I have no attachments, I'm not dating, blah, 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 and I found out later, it's a total wrap. You can forget it.
Exactly. Donald, Tucson.
What you coming to me for?
Donald, what are you hearing from the young ladies, man? And this is good because I wanted to focus on the young ladies and let them bring what they was going to bring to the table. Then I'm gonna go to the guys and find out what is on your heart. What is on your heart from what you heard, Donald?
They're solid with me. That makes a lot of sense. Me, really. Because I'm telling you, I'm gonna just throw this out there.
Donald, y'all done knocked Donald over. Y'all done knocked him over. He done stopped talking and everything. Donald, you still there?
Man. Yeah, I'm still here, man. No, because if we be honest, we know the game. But they are, from what I'm hearing, they're like back on up, back up with that foolishness. So I'm good with what they're saying for me because I'm 56. So I ain't got time to be playing.
Yeah.
I done played. So I'm good with what they're talking about. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why you came to me.
Good deal. Leonard, what did you hear from what these ladies are saying and they're putting their hearts out there? Leonard, what are you hearing?
I hear the thing that makes it so great, the difference between men and women. I mean, that's the difference.
Leonard, do we as men play an unfair game with these women? Sometimes.
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. And women for some reason catch on to that too late.
Too late, yeah.
Now I'm not, I've never been like what you would say one of the guys like that. Because one, I just don't believe in tricking women and doing all that. If I can't get what I want from you from telling you the truth, I don't want it. So, I've been married the majority of my adult life. So, I never had relationships and things like that where I had to play games or what have you. If I, meet you, it's just at face value. I don't expect much, but I love, well, first of all, I always love what Pastor Green talks about. Anyway. And the new sister we have on the line, Sherry, man, that's the most strength you can have. I mean, you don't get no more powerful than that. I love that walk that they have. It's so secure in who they are. Just because somebody walk up and like I used to tell my wife, you used to being called pretty. But pretty is just all pretty is. You know what I'm saying? I want, you can tell a woman who's used to getting what she wants from people, and you got a lot of men that fall into that game too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, you have to know yourself before you get out here fooling with other people, and you really not prepared to deal with the games that they play. So it's not, and women have to understand that, and it's not going to get better. I don't think it was ever meant to be. You right now, it's like you pray. And there's predators out here.
Yeah.
And they seek to kill, steal, and destroy you.
Exactly.
And I always pick on Frank. I pick on Frank. Because to me, man, that brother's thing is perfect. His words are so smooth.
He like.
Remember when he started addressing? Remember how he started when he started addressing women? How brilliantly he did that.
So basically, you're saying he like a pimp. He like a pimp. He is so smooth with his tongue.
If he wanted to, he could take advantage of many, 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 many women just with that. Because if you ain't heard a compliment in a while,
but see,
if someone hasn't shown you love in a while, oh yeah, it'll get you.
See, now,
even on the church level, that's what make, I guess, preachers so desirable is the words that come out of their mouth.
And see, the thing about it, you never know. You never know. You never know. Maybe in another life, maybe Frank was a pimp in his growing up days.
He's just a good. I just think he's a good guy.
He's a good guy now, but I'm saying that don't mean he was always a good guy. Now he might have had some pimpology in him.
I don't care if he was. I don't care what he was. He got a wife now, right?
Yeah.
She happy. He happy. That dude sound like he is doing a good job at being a man.
But that don't mean he might have been a pimp back in the day, though. He might have been a pimp back in the day. I'm just saying.
I'm not. I don't know about the pimps. I'm not going to talk about pimps.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that.
Is Frank even on the line?
Yeah, he's on the line. Frank.
Y'all do. Like he ain't there.
Frank, you still there? Yeah, he's still on the line. He might have stepped away for a minute, but he's still on the line. I'll go to go to him. Hey, Frank, are you there? Hey, Curtis.
Frank reminds me of the youth pastor that tried to get you out of the street.
Uh-oh.
When you was a kid, and in the environment I was in, you would have a bus would come around and get kids to try to come to church and things like that. And you meet the pastor, being, from the hood, we used to laugh and joke and teasing because, I can't believe you because everything you say sounds too good. That's why
Look
when we were kids there. But, I appreciate that about him because you could, if you're a young husband, man, you could learn a lot from a guy like Frank.
Okay,
you could learn how to treat him and what to say and things like that.
Let me tell you something. See, ECL as a square. You gotta put it all together. See, and that's how you get them. Oh, Anna, you wanted to say something.
I think you hating. I think you hating.
No. Like I say, people used to tell
you being real petty.
People used to tell me all the time. I got a silver tongue. I could talk my way up on something, but
we talked about the stuff you say. I tease you too.
Nah, I don't do that. I don't do that though. No, I don't do that. I sit over there in the corner and just watch. That's all I do. I'm like Donald. Every now and then I tell Donald to turn the flashlight on. Donald, turn the flashlight on. Let's see what's going on in here.
And let me tell y'all one thing. I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm dogging Raheem about it. Because I've been out and about with Raheem.
Oh Lord.
And Raheem talks to everybody. Everyone. People could be minding their own business. Raheem's walking up to them, smiling, talking, joking, and I'm like, "Do you know them? So why is you over there fooling with them?"
Man, love people.
But that's
man.
just how you are. You know what I'm saying?
Love.
And that's a thing that women should look for. Look for people that don't have nothing to hide. Challenge a guy. Find out about him. If he's nice, he's really nice. But if you can't come by his house, you can't look at his phone, you can't do this, you can't. Come on, man, you see it up front. People that don't have nothing to hide let you see everything.
Exactly.
Right.
Anna, what's on your heart? Then I'm going to go on to Curtis. What's on your heart?
I could tell you've been watching Friday a lot in your past days. I think that was part 2. So anyways, I have 2 things to say. The men in this panel, I truly respect each and every one of you guys, because even whatever you guys did in the past, you guys did it in younger days. You guys are very loyal to your wives as far as I'm concerned. Incredibly good men. And I admire that in each and every one of you guys. And I want you guys to know that as somebody who deals with you guys on a day-to-day basis. And this is not the first time that I say this. So thank you for that. Thank you for being good husbands and good men to your wives and respecting other women enough to not cross that line. So I want to say that. I deal the most, well, Leonard, Kurt now, and Raheem, I deal the most with you guys, you 3. So thank you for that and always being respectful. My second thing that I want to say is Cassandra is just a beautiful soul inside and out. I love that lady and she knows that I do. And I admire what you are in the respect that you have shown yourself as a woman, because men like to take advantage of a vulnerable woman a lot of times. And Sherry, I admire that you're also doing that for yourself, because you're putting God first and waiting for that man that's sent from God. A lot of times we do get weak and we do get vulnerable because of that weakness. And I think that weakness is, that clock is ticking. I'm getting older. And, I didn't really answer that question earlier, but you're absolutely right, Raheem. Once you hit your 30s, it's like, I'm not the same. I'm not, as young, children, so forth, so on. And, we don't want to fall into that. And we especially show our daughters that that's okay. So please keep that in mind and just wait for God. Pray for him. He'll come along. And if he's not meant to be, God will let you know that as well. So I just wanted to say that, and especially the men, I really admire. I would be shocked if I heard any different. I really admire each and every one of you guys for being the wonderful men that you are to your wives. And thank you for that from a woman's point of view.
Praise God. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis, look, man, look here. She's trying to pull on our heartstrings, brother. Trying to pull on our heartstrings this morning. Kurt, what's on your heart?
You know, for me, man, I really didn't learn how to get this thing right till probably about 5 years ago. Like I'm gonna be all the way transparent, man. You know what I'm saying? I only learned because of failure of my own, not nobody else. Even though, yeah, there was things that I did not receive that I needed. Even though there were things that was not always done appropriately for me, but still at the end of the day, it was my responsibility as a man to get those things. So I can't fault nobody else for that. I gotta fault myself. You see what I'm saying? Maybe because of all the dirt that I done over the years, God saw fit not to give me those things. Maybe that was my punishment. See, one of the things I'm seeing, even in the environment that I work in, is everybody want to be treated good, but nobody want to realistically realize the dirt that they did, wrong that they did. I remember I only been divorced one time too many. But I remember somebody asked me, they said, oh my God, y'all was so good together. Why y'all didn't work out? And at first, my first thought was well, you know, she didn't. And then I thought about this thing, man. And I said, you know what? Before I could even answer, God answered for me, man. Before I could answer, you know what I'm saying? What came out of my mouth was, look, for real, as a man, I did not ask for enough and I did not give enough. That's what happened. I did not truly state the level of unhappiness I was at. And I did not truly state the level of happiness that I was at. So I had a woman with me walking around me all the time, and she was constantly in limbo because I left her there. So for me, you know, and then I don't mean no harm, you know, to the sisters. I know none of y'all is like this. But as soon as I cancel the phone out, I get a news feed. And I feel even worse because I'm saying I hope that she don't never get a man. Because I ain't talking about my ex-wife. I get a news feed that says conservative blogger Candace Owens says the idea of George Floyd as a martyr is yes. And I'm like, hold on, man. Like, come on, sister. Like, fall back on that for right now. If you want to do that, fall. You know, I'm just saying, man. You know, a lot of times it's we look to find fault in everyone else when even when we doing right, our right was not enough. Somewhere we didn't see our wrongs. You know what I mean? So. And that don't escape the fact that you just got people that's going to genuinely try to exploit you. No, that don't escape that fact. But at the end of the day, even
with that being said, let me ask you this. With that being said, let me ask you the same question I asked later. Do we as men take unfair advantages of the women that we come in contact with?
You know, the lady's gonna be mad at me if I answer that right here. You know where I'm at with that. Nobody is exploited without allowing themselves to be exploited. I will never forget, I seen a movie with Hugh Harper. One of the most powerful films I ever seen in my life. And guess what? It gets that rating from me from one scene. Opening scene, and it didn't have no people in it.
It was a visual scene, and it shows the I-10, I-5 crossway. And it shows the wall of the highway, because if I'm not mistaken, I think I-10 flows over top of I-5. And it's the wall. And on the wall, it says, there is no greater mind, there's no greater oppressor than the mind of the oppressed. So when it comes down to being exploited, you got to understand, we have to start to acknowledge that we give that power. We give up that power. And when we give up that, whatever that end result is what it is. Now, 9 times out of 10, we give up that power. Doing
But I understand what you're saying. I'm going to pull some of the women in here as well. But at the same time, we as men, we know the manipulation that we put out there on the table, though. And whether they bite or not, that's one thing. Whether they allow themselves to be manipulated, that's one thing. But that does not change the fact that we as men sometimes are the manipulators, and we cast the bait out there. And if they bite, perfect. If not, we're gonna go and cast that same bait to the next individual. We as men sometimes we do these things. This is what we do.
I get that, Raheem. I get that, Raheem. But all at the same time, okay, so if I don't want to get high, right? And everybody around me is getting high, I have choices to make. Either I get up and leave, or when somebody offer me to get high, I say no. Or I stay and I get tempted and I don't get high, or I stay, I get tempted and I do.
But that don't change the being there. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is the option of exploitation is all about choice. I'm gonna stop taking the choices from these women. I'm giving the power to all these men. That's not true. If you really think about it, right? This is something my daddy taught me a long time ago. He said, look, boy, he said, you can think you got game all you want. You ain't got no game. The greatest gamer in the business is a woman.
It's a woman. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He said, let me tell you, he said, when you walk in a club, he said, a group of women walk in a club. He said, they already done decided. If you right here come over and holler at me, he might get a word. If this other dude come over here and holler at me, oh, he definitely gonna get some word. Bum over there come speak to me, oh, he gets nothing. Decided. All I'm saying is, we cannot continue to live in a situation where even when we think that we're building them up, we're actually tearing them down because we're removing their ability to make a choice.
Okay, good. Let me pull up some of the ladies into the conversation. Good job, brother. Good job. Cassandra, what's on your heart? And everybody mute your line, because we got a little background noise coming from somebody turning the kitchen up or something. I don't know what's going on over there. But Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Okay, so what are we talking about now?
Manipulators.
We went to the manipulation. Yeah, I mean, we can say, yeah, she has to allow herself to be manipulated, and maybe that's true to a degree. But why are you the manipulator? Why are you? If you know that she is vulnerable, why would you do that as a man? Why would you want to do that? So that means that you didn't have good intentions.
But see, that goes back to what Leonard said, the predator and the prey. A lot of time the men are predators, and they see
Wait a minute. Don't make me cuss, because it's early in the morning. We ain't no damn animals. We are not animals. We're human beings. Animals do predator and prey. We should not be. We're above them. We were created to be above them, so we should not even be functioning on that type of mentality. Some, the hunter and the hunted, or all that. No, we're human beings, and we should treat each other like human beings. And when a man uses manipulation just to get to a woman, that's why. And y'all know I proudly give my numbers. That's why for 22 years I have been celibate, because I'm not going to compromise. I will not compromise who I am as a woman of God. So if you looking for a booty call, you can't. Ain't no words you said. Your woo woo ain't big enough. Ain't nothing you got that's gonna get me to give up my cookies. Okay, it's not gonna happen. So then you can use all of those little sweet words that you use for Betty, Sue, Jane, and Allie. It don't matter to me because I know who I am, know what I stand for, and there is not a man on this earth right now that I know about that can talk me out of my my big girl panties.
Wow. Okay, Dad.
Okay, I'm just putting it out there.
Now that's the
Anna's mom. I'm so sorry, sweetie. I know you don't know me. Please forgive me for that, but no, he can't. I'm 61 years old. You will not talk me out of my big girl panties. That ain't happening.
Donald, what are you hearing this morning? Donald, what are you hearing this morning? Donald, Tucson.
I love the baby. She's as real as she can possibly be because life will make you like that. And especially when you live and learn not to blame other folks, it develops you into who you really are because you find out more about you rather than trying to find out somebody else to fit you. I don't need nobody to fit me. I know who I am. And because know that. So any words that if I want to get a communication that I know that needs to be said in a certain way, I'm calling her.
Wow. Sherry, what's on your heart?
Oh my God. I agree with the sister, but I just don't want to be 22 years celibate my body. I got to fight this body. Lord, let's get real, okay? I mean, if you come along.
Sherry, hold on. We got to go into prayer right now for you, Sherry. Sherry.
Right? She want to speak tongues. What? I respect the honesty, though. Man, for real.
He's like, Lord, when he coming? Because I ain't looking, I'm waiting. I'm in the bed, I get it. But the kitty don't get it.
Is that what goes on in the church?
Where's Frank? This is a Frank moment.
Hey, Cassandra, we're gonna have to do more than pray. Get the holy oil.
Look at is this what they Lord, my dear. Okay, Sherry, we gonna hold on right there for a second. Sherry, just pump the brakes for me. Frank, are you there? Y'all done ran the man off. The man done fell over in his chair. Anna, what is going on this morning, Anna? Anna, your mom listening too. Oh, we gotta
I know, my mom is probably like, what kind of Christian station is this? I'm not turning back in. Really, you guys have to say this stuff this morning? I'm kidding.
Hey, Anna, of all mornings, y'all gotta act like this.
Of all mornings. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. I'm kidding. My mom knows that there is a real world out there, that things happen. It happens. I'm just blushing because I'm like, wow, could we be any more truthful this morning?
Exactly. I ain't waiting on 22 years. I don't want to wait that long.
I wanted to read something to you guys real quick. So, on Ephesians 4:29, it says, "No corrupting talk come out of your mouths."
Hold on. Everybody mute your line so we can hear what Anna's reading. Everybody mute your line for me. Start over for me if you don't mind, Anna. I appreciate it.
Okay. On Ephesians 4:29, it says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for the building up as it fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." So think about next time you go to backstab somebody, think about those words. Again, it's on Ephesians 4:29. I just wanted to make sure that before we got off air, I read that.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. Kurt, man, what's on your heart, brother? Kurt, we done open up a can of worms or something going on around here this morning.
No, you know what? I think we have given, yeah, you're right. Something is going on. I think we have given America and the 58 other countries that's listening the opportunity to see that although we are believers, we human beings.
Absolutely.
We have flaws. Just everybody else. We have flaws.
Now, Kurt, my wife, an educated brother. You know, I love you, man. You my brother. We've been brothers for a long time. But Kurt, flaws ain't no word, man.
We have flaws. FLAW.
Flaws.
We have flaws.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Thank you, Mr. Incardi. We have flaws, and because of our flaws, because of our belief, we have the unique ability to move beyond our flaws. You know what I mean? So, I've you know, the women that we got on this panel.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Respect for them is way beyond the respect that I would give just a random person walking the street. And I only one on here that I have physically met in person is Cassandra. But the fact that these women not only are able to hold themselves for the receipt or for the gift of God to come, but the fact that they can hold themselves in such a position of high esteem, because don't get twisted, just like dudes in power get it tossed at them, they getting it tossed at them tenfold.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they still able to keep themselves together, still do what they do, still handle the business that they handle, and be women, that is an admirable quality. If I was single, I would probably be like, hey, look, my phone number such. Somebody called me, because I could, you know, given my different situation, the one thing I done realized, and I thank God that he gave it to me because he didn't have to, but I can't have no weak woman. Situation and circumstances, I cannot be involved with a weak woman right now.
Exactly. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I like what Kurt just said. I don't do weak women. And you know, sharing with people, I've been divorced before. So it's you know, I was very straightforward about it. You know, bad days outweigh good days, but I'm gonna tell you, women like Sandra and my sister Sherry and things like this, like my sister-in-law, those are queens. See, I got a lot of women running around here. I'm a queen. Now that you can't control what's between your legs, you're not. Because that's how he gonna get you right there. You know, I'm very upfront with women, and you put it out there, women put it out there, and it became this adversarial type predator-prey relationship for the very simple fact that that's what it's all about, and women want to believe it's different. And it's really not. It's simple. You what I want, I'm gonna get it. If I just want it for the night, I'm gonna tell you whatever I have to do, whatever I have to do to get it. Do you understand? There is no when he lines you in his sight. Trust me, it's not in your best interest.
He coming after you.
Now, if you just want to have a great time, just have a great time and leave it at that. But don't expect anything else from that type of man. Now,
I'm like Kurt. I have to have a very strong woman. I have a lot of women friends and things like that. And those women friends will let you know he don't cross the line with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a sheltered life at all, but I don't even approach women. Even when I was single, I allow women to make the first move.
Mm-hmm.
See, I gotta, cause and that's part of these things. Like, one, I need to know you want me first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to impress you at all. I need to know you want me first. People say, I don't even have a type. I like women who like me.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been young before. You know how you go out.
Mm-hmm.
You go out hunting.
May I say something?
You know.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Leonard, as you guys know from the past, I don't have a type either at all.
Sure.
I don't look at looks.
Shrek.
That's my worst mistake.
Yeah, Shrek. Let me go to Andrea.
You like ugly guys.
Oh Lord. Let me go to Andrea. Andrea, what's on your heart right now? Because they acting up bad this morning.
What's on my heart is this. I'm gonna be brief because I know the time is not up. But I can only speak on the marriage part now. I'm no longer single, so I can only speak for that. Count up the cost. Count up the cost, women. Count up the cost.
Yes.
Because when you bring a man in there, you got to let that man lead you. And I see this so many times. We independent. We got a job. Ain't no man gonna tell me what to do. You out of order.
Mm-hmm.
You out of order with the word. You out of order with God. Or you gonna want to when you don't feel like it and it's that time of night. You gonna have a headache every night and expect him to stay home even though he's supposed to. But see, he might not have that connection with God like you do. So he might not do that. So are you gonna tote the place? Are you gonna run the baths? Are you gonna make that man feel like he your king? Can you humble yourself? And then for as men, if you're looking for a wife, the Bible says how you treat her in your youth. He might not answer those prayers that you've been wanting if you ain't treating your wife right of your youth. That's in the word.
Mm-hmm.
So are we teaching our boys, son, when you start dating a woman, if you go over to her mama house and her mama house dirty, don't bring that woman home because your house gonna be dirty too. Are we teaching our young daughters? If it's beer in the refrigerator and you don't support drinking, you bring them home, it's gonna be beer in your refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Are we teaching them? Are we grooming them? My daughter, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let y'all go. My daughter, I got pregnant at 15. My mama got pregnant at 15. I only have a 7th grade education, but I made something out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But my daughter got married with no kids, finished high school and college, and just moved into her own place.
Praise God. Praise God. Break the cycle. Yeah, exactly. That's good. That's good. And wow, man, we've covered a lot. We've covered a lot today, man.
Hey, Raheem, with everything you covered, I can't believe you haven't called on me, man.
Man, look here.
Man, we've been calling.
Man, look here. Okay. I ain't even gonna say nothing.
I called on Frank.
Wait.
I called on Frank.
Wait a minute.
We're gonna have to get him a braille machine.
Forgiveness today. I don't feel the forgiveness here.
Look at him.
Everybody called on you, Frank. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
He said, "Lord, have mercy." But look,
I ain't heard everybody come together and agree like that ever.
Man, look here. Frank, we figured the conversation knock you over, brother. We figured you land on the floor. We're about to call not 911. We're about to call 911, brother. We're about to call 911 for you. Can we figure something had happened to you?
Oh no, man. I'm good. Great conversation, man. You guys are truly delivering some people with the diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're seeing this thing from so many different perspectives. that no matter where you find yourself, you know, God can locate you because of the different experiences that we have faced, you know, the different, you know, even geographically, you know, where we are. And the one thing that God really, and this is something that has blessed me, a lot of times we talk about racism and we talk about different things. And I have to realize I'm not in the South. You know, I'm in Detroit where we experience it, but don't quite experience it like the people in Mississippi and Alabama and maybe even Georgia. So all I can do is come from my perspective, which is my reality. But there's a lot of different perspectives out there that it'll take me some living and some fellowship and some understanding to see it, you know, from, you know, a Cassandra or for Annie in Mississippi's, or from a woman's perspective. And there's even some issues I won't touch. So,
good,
yeah, great conversation.
Appreciate it. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now?
I'm just grateful because today I wasn't going to call in this morning because you know I have this physical stuff going on and taking a toll. But I'm so glad that I did because I got to get some insight. I got to laugh. I got to call on Frank, which I never do. I personally called on Frank for help.
Yeah.
So it was
help me somebody.
It was really
yeah.
It was
Wait a minute.
Really a
y'all were mistreating my sister.
yes. They weren't mistreating me. They were saying stuff, and I was like, I know you needed to get on it because it was some folks saying some stuff. That's all I'm gonna say. But listen to it at 3 o'clock. Listen to it at 3 o'clock, as they say. And catch that part where I was calling on you. That's all I can say. Where I was calling on you.
It was an excellent broadcast, man. It's 9 o'clock time for us to get out of here. Go ahead, Cassandra. Tell them where they can listen at 3 o'clock. Help us out.
Okay, today at 3 o'clock, if you miss any part of this great conversation, like Frank did, you can hear it in its entirety. You can hear it in its entirety at 3 p.m. at DKMradio.com or
yes,
something
ma'am.
like that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I'm really, DKMradio.com. You can hear this wonderful conversation that we had at 3 p.m.
If you missed any of it, like who did that? Like, who missed some of it?
Yeah, Frank did.
Forgiveness. We need some forgiveness around here.
Look here. You think maybe we could get Frank to at least pray us out since he done missed over half of the broadcast?
He missed a lot.
Pray us out, brother.
Man, I will be more than happy to. Father, my God, thank you. Thank you. I thank you for each and every person on this panel, Lord. Father, I thank you for each and every listener, Father. Father, I thank you that you've allowed me one more day to serve you. Father, I thank you that you truly are the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Father, I thank you that you are the true Father to all of our answers. Father, I thank you for today and tomorrow. I thank you, Father, as Raheem has made the roll call, that you've seen all of us fit to answer that call. Because there's been a lot of people that did not make it through the last few months. So we don't take that for granted, Lord. Father, we ask right now, Father, that you heal, Father, each and every family that has lost loved ones during this time, Father. Father, and we thank you for your vision, Father. We still know that you are in control, Father. And Father, we will humble ourselves. We will turn back to you, Father. We will repent, Father, so that you can heal our land. So we just thank you for being God. We thank you for your Son, that we can even have audience with you. So we give you all glory, honor, and Father, everything that we have, our life, all the praise that we have goes out to you, because only you are worthy of it. And we thank you, Lord. And we ask these things in the unmatchable name of Jesus.
Amen.
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 Thank you, Frank. You got my daddy's name, and he was a minister. He's gone on, but thank you.
Glory to God.
Good
Glory
deal.
to God. Thank you.
It is now 9:06. 9:06. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want to thank everybody for joining us in More Than That, allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow to be a part of your morning. It is now, as I said, 9:06. You're about to exit. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Now, we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take this light out into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. Let your light so shine. We're about to get out of here for today. I'm trying to get my music, my exit music lined up here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Y'all have a great day. Love each other. Love you.
Love you. God bless y'all. Have a good day.